Welcome back to another episode of Last Call Fantasy Football. I am your host, Saxophone Delmon, with my friends.
Hi, Maria. Welcome.
And Michael Rascon.
Yes, y'all. We are going to dig right into it. Today we are going through the top 25 running backs for fantasy football. Probably the first 4 games. Wow.
Yeah, so we made this list before we knew that the NFL preseason was going to be canceled. So when you have rookie running backs, it's kind of hard to say that they're going to start taking the starting job for the first few games. So we may have to kind of alter this list a little bit today.
It's last call.
Fantasy football.
So first up, we got...
Well, we're going to start from 25 and work our way up. So number 25, we have, from the New York Jets, Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon.
I rested a lot of my laurels on him last year. I really believed in this guy.
So glad he did.
And you know what? They believed in him too over there. He was even playing quarterback by week 3 for the Jets. It was
They needed all the help they could get.
he was the number 29 ranked quarterback in fantasy last year.
But I mean, he's on this list because I really do believe that he's going to have a better season than he did last year. I'll just say that.
It'll be more stable for sure. And I still think he has enough talent to do something, definitely.
What do you think?
I think I left him off my list.
Well, there you go.
Adam Gase don't care about... First of all, he doesn't even care about running backs, yet alone people that he doesn't even like. He doesn't like Le'Veon Bell. He hates Le'Veon Bell. He hates Jamal Adams. He hates the New York Jets.
Okay, so then let's go ahead and say if this relationship creates an even bigger rift there, do you think that there's a chance that Le'Veon doesn't finish the season with the Jets?
Ooh.
It's very possible.
Who's going to pick him up? He didn't really have... He got sent to the Jets. That means that nobody wanted him.
You think that... Well,
you
okay.
have to run a zone blocking offense, and there's only a couple teams in the league that really run it well. And
he works better in partnership too with somebody else helping him out.
Now, I do know that running backs traditionally have like the shortest shelf life for a player in the NFL. That being said, though, I do think that Le'Veon has something left in the tank for sure. But the question is, like you said, I mean, where is he going to go?
It's not left in the tank. Everybody knows he's got left in the tank. It's what's left in the bank.
Right.
He needs that check. And Shanahan is proving over and over again for a zone blocking offense that is more about the offensive line than the running backs.
Okay, so then do you think there's a situation in which Le'Veon will say, I'll take a pay cut?
Yeah, it's called retirement.
I think
I don't think
Le'Veon's
he's ready for that yet.
We'll see what happens with Le'Veon this year. But I do believe that he's going to have a better season than last year. And I don't know how much that's actually saying.
Not
Anyways,
much.
he wasn't even on my list. So, number 24, from the Detroit Lions, we have DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, this is one of those situations like we were talking about. This is a rookie. And though, Kerryon Johnson for the Lions, they're starting running back right now, he has had injury problems over the past few years. And I'm assuming, though, being that, Swift's not really going to get any reps prior to the season, that Kerryon's going to start. Now, is Kerryon going to stay healthy?
We hope so.
Yeah,
Fantasy
well, of course.
football gurus are not allowed to...
No. But
No, he's not going to stay healthy. It's the NFL. He's a running back. That's why they don't even get paid. So, no, he's not going to stay healthy. And then DeAndre Swift is going to get in there, and that's why he's ranked too low right now. But
okay,
And the rookies have been doing that already, coming in and pretty much taking over from the
That's
get-go.
true. And I think Detroit wouldn't have drafted DeAndre Swift if they didn't think he was going to be a starter this season at some point. Now, question is this. If Kerryon does stay healthy, do you think they implement this two-headed running attack there in Detroit? And if that does happen, do you think that their value would drop?
Well, as many times as Kerryon got hurt, when you want to run a two-back offense,
Yeah, I'd agree.
and Swift he's dope. He lives up to his name. as Swift, and he is versatile, and he is strong, and he is much better than Kerryon Johnson.
I mean, I
He'll
get.
get to show that pretty soon.
We'll
off,
see
I
what
think.
happens, but I do want to say, I think that if DeAndre Swift shares a role with Kerryon Johnson, I'd still put him at 24, and if he starts and Kerryon's hurt, I would put him a lot higher on the list for sure, like top
I would
10. No,
definitely-
top 15. Top 15.
If you can get him as your fourth running back, or if you can get him as your third, I mean, definitely if you can get him as your fourth, but if you can get him as your third running back, I think that's a steal.
Yeah.
Because he's ranked too low right now, in a offense that even they proved last year the running offense was not good. It was not working, and they still pounded that ball.
Well, Bo Scarborough is there as well, so they have a pretty good running attack now that they added Swift. And if the running backs are able to stay healthy and they're able to keep it sort of like a revolving door there, I think they're going to have something going on similar to what's going on in New England with Sony Michel, James White, Rex Burkhead, and whoever the hell else Bill Belichick puts out there as running back.
And if you get Johnson, you're going to want to pick Swift up anyway. So
Oh, you would piggyback
I think
and
so.
pick at the handcuff?
I like to.
In
do
that
every
situation
once in a while,
with
yeah.
with Carry On,
I think so.
absolutely, yeah.
Then why would you even get Kerryon? Why don't you just get Swift and then hold on?
Because I believe that Carry On is gonna have a full healthy season. I don't want to, but I believe it. I really do believe that
If you
Carry
can
On.
get him at a good deal, if you can work it out to where you're getting them both.
Maybe this is why the Lions did this. Maybe it's because they knew to preserve Carry On, they're going to need to have that sort of running attack. And if they're able to balance it out, then maybe Carry On doesn't get hurt.
Okay, well, we have another argument coming up for number 23. We have Jonathan Taylor from the Indianapolis Colts, who I also think is ranked too low because I had Marlon Mack last year, and he was a great disappointment.
Last year he was. He absolutely was. But, I mean, there's other questions that need to be answered in Indianapolis first, such as, is Phillip Rivers going to start right away? Or are they going to go with familiarity and chemistry, which is Jacoby Brissett? And if that happens, does that make a difference on what happens with the running attack as well? Because though it was a disappointing season as far as usage for Marlon Mack, I really do feel like he has good chemistry with Jacoby Brissett, whether it's just blocking, whether it's just communication in general.
He did better than. I mean,
Well, you love Phillip Rivers, right, Maria?
oh hell no!
I hate him now. I love Phillip Rivers as a person. As a person, I love you, Phillip Rivers.
Not
but
for fantasy.
yeah, last year was the end of the year, man. Just the end of the year, man. And but I still love you, Phillip Rivers, and I have faith that he's going to have a great season there in Indianapolis. Depending on what happens, of course, with if it's just about getting Phillip Rivers acquainted with the playbook and stuff like that, do they give Jacoby Brissett an expiration date? Because I know a lot of coaches are of that whole school, like if it's not broken, don't try to fix it. So if Jacoby Brissett's leading them to win after win after win, what do you think happens with Phillip Rivers?
Well, I mean, it's not going to matter because I think everything's going to run through Jonathan Taylor.
That's true.
I think that's why they drafted him so high and got him and they are going to push Marlon Mack down to first down or goal line, and they're going to let. I mean, at first, but Jonathan Taylor is a 3-down back, and if he doesn't get hurt, it's going to depend on how he comes back from no preseason and no OTAs or anything. But if he comes back in shape.
Well, let's also talk a little bit about that division. I mean, even though the Jaguars have their problems, even though the Texans have their problems when the front office, I still do think that division belongs to Tennessee, no matter what. And
Talent-wise and competition-wise.
I don't know if
defense-wise.
Yeah. I just don't know if any other team in that division. I mean, they can make the playoffs, but I don't know if they can win the division. If Tennessee's anything like they were last year, I think they already have the division locked up.
Well, what about this other division, the championship division? Well, I guess not. It's not anymore, but the dynasty division of the New England Patriots. Sony Michel is just, even in mock drafts, is not getting any love or respect. But we have him as number 22 on our list.
And that was made before we found out about Cam Newton getting there too. Now, will that change anything?
To me, yeah, I think James White should be either higher up on this, or Sony Michel should not be on this list anymore.
It's just tough with New England. If it's going to be like it was last season, I couldn't trust any one of those running backs because, Burkhead would go out. Yeah, it was a different person all the time, and Belichick did that so well.
Newton's king of
He did it for whoever he played. He would change it up. You know, who's going to play better against this team, this week versus the next week.
Yeah.
I think it gives a chance for Burkhead to come in because he's a dump-off magic. Burkhead is ridiculous on these little three rushes for 40 yards and 2 catches and 2 touchdowns for 27 yards. And
Actually, today I think I just read that he signed another contract with them. So Burkhead's staying in New England, everyone.
So that's going to take touches away from Michelle, Sony Michel, and then James White, who is the Super Bowl playoff dump-off champion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this plays right into Cam Newton's hands because, well, he's not used to having any good receivers, and Patriots don't have any good receivers. And
yeah. This is looking really good. I mean, this could. Remember who did they have? Jonathan Stewart over in Carolina when Cam was just tearing it up. Mm-hmm. They had those bowling balls of running backs, man. Just It was great, and I think that it could happen again in New England. Maybe we'll see an entire like Dal said. They have Julian Edelman and Mohamed Sanu, and those guys are super intelligent, but deep balls. N'Keal Harry is that who we're?
Well, watch the Patriots before Week 5 are going to make a major wide receiver big man move.
It has to happen.
I promise it's going to happen. It's going to be some. What did I put on Facebook the other day? I was looking at the stats and.
Like a free agent?
Yeah, he's not signed right now. I can't. Oh, I'm so sad. I don't remember, but he's like 6'4", like 220. Like Cam Newton likes big possession receivers.
Like Kelvin Benjamin.
And Devin Funchess, but I don't think Funchess is out there, but I don't think it's going to be Funchess. I'm so sad I can't think of his name right now. But watch, Patriots are going to make a major move.
I believe that.
And go get a big time. I mean, a big, even if it's like Mike Williams or something, receiver to go get those touchdowns.
Make it happen.
So, who I think is going to be the Patriot killer this year is the Buffalo Bills. And Devin Singletary is next on our list at number 21. What you think about Singletary, Maria?
I had him last year on a couple of my leagues, and I was very happy with him. Very happy.
Now they got a new rookie. What is? I can't think of his name right now either. I'm so.
Well, again, in this situation, I would say that Singletary. It's safe to draft him early on. I believe.
I think so.
Early on, I would want him to be my third running back.
No. I don't mean early on as in like rounds. I mean early on in the year because there's a good chance that if this rookie does pick up steam and takes this guy's job.
I don't think he's going to take his job. I think he's going to take goal line carries because Singletary had some problems like in the red zone. I won't say in the red zone, but like within the 5, they didn't really give it to him that many times. And you have Josh Allen, who is a running quarterback, and they do that option all the time with Singletary up the middle, and then Allen bootlegs and scores. Mm-hmm. But because they now that they know that Singletary wasn't gonna take the ball inside the 5, they got this bruiser rookie, and he's good too. He's a good running back. Why do I feel so stupid right now because I don't. I knew all these names right before, and I can't think of his name right now. But he's not going to take Singletary's spot, but he's going to definitely take goal line carries and, well, at least 4 or 5 carries, which every running back is going to take about 4 or 5, maybe 6 carries from every lead running back. But I like Singletary. I like the Bills this year. I think they're going to be up in a lot of games, and I think I'm going to try to steal him from Maria this year.
Well, I mean, I love the Bills. They're an organization that deserves right now to be good. They've gone through hell over the past 20 years, and even before that, when they went to those 4 Super Bowls and lost every time, to make it to 4 Super Bowls to begin with is just, Anyway, that being said, though, I don't think the Patriots are done just yet.
No, not as long as Belichick's around. There's no way.
I think that maybe the Bills win once against the Patriots this year. I don't know. I believe I'm of the school that believes that Belichick's going to have a way better season than Brady this year.
Ooh, man, is that a bet? I want to do a bet on that.
Okay.
We need to do a shot bet, like a hot sauce bet.
A hot sauce bet?
Hot sauce shot.
Shot of hot sauce.
Sauce shot.
How about like a huge spoon of wasabi?
Ooh.
Ooh, half wasabi in the refrigerator.
All right.
Shout outs to Koreans out there. All right, so the Bills are going to beat the Patriots. I mean, only
good season.
Only once.
Only once.
If that.
Wow.
It's going to be a great game. Great matchups both times. I'm not saying the Bills aren't going to put up a fight, but just the Patriots. Bill Belichick.
They almost had him last year.
They almost have him.
But so they have to. It's time.
Well, Sean McDermott now has his full team. He has had a chance to fill out his whole roster exactly who he wants.
You're right. But let's also think about the big question mark of what the hell does Bill Belichick have up his sleeve?
Well, he doesn't have a camera.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's not really any tape on what's going on in New England. You know, when they do finally start practicing together and stuff like that, it's going to be interesting to see the system that they implement because it can't be the same system that they implemented when Brady was there. Not with Cam. I don't think they have to change certain things about it. And I think that question mark in itself is going to give them the edge against a lot of teams that may have been this close to having their number.
I've been waiting for... I wish we could see more practicing and stuff like that, but it's going to be good once we get to watch it.
We'll get to see these little secret tapes of Drew Brees and Emmanuel Sanders working out.
Right, just throwing a couple passes,
Yeah.
making some, doing some route runs and whatnot. So I'm excited.
It's going to be the weirdest season ever. So anyway, to number 20, David Johnson, now of the Houston Texans.
Yep, got dealt in the trade.
That's a dumb trade.
Not a fair, even trade.
That was not a good trade. I mean, Dell, you will have a lot to say about the fact that you believe DeAndre Hopkins was declining in his play a little bit,
He has been the past
It's
4
just
years.
a separation, man. Deshaun Watson not only is getting the sacked more than any other quarterback in the league, so that means he has no time to throw. DeAndre Hopkins doesn't get any separation anymore.
No, they catch up to him by the time he's out there,
And Deshaun Watson's not only he's thrown under duress, he's not the most accurate quarterback in the world. So how is somebody like DeAndre Hopkins an asset to a quarterback like Deshaun Watson?
Well, you're right about that. And I do think that, Hopkins is going to fit in a little bit better in Arizona because it's like a wide receiver's dream. You don't have to ever feel like all the pressure's on you over there. Mm-hmm. So that'll be nice. But as far as the whole David Johnson going to Houston thing, what does David Johnson have left? Okay, for me, David Johnson has been great and bad, and last year was just Arizona. Yeah, Arizona had these, and then they brought in Chase Edmonds, and Chase Edmonds had this amazing game, and then all of a sudden they signed Kenyon Drake, and he has two 200-yard games in a row, something like that. Mm-hmm. So, poor David Johnson, first of all. But like I said earlier, running backs don't have that long of a career to begin with. So what else is going to happen there? And don't they have Duke Johnson there as well? Is he still there?
Duke Johnson is still there.
It's going to be interesting.
But Carlos Hyde is not there anymore.
True.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Duke Johnson is ranked too low. He is very versatile, and now he is 3 years removed off of that ACL tear, and I think that was the problem.
Okay, so that D Johnson, we could just change that to Duke.
And move David up.
No, okay, no hate on David Johnson. It's going to be hard to tell what's going to happen there. I don't quite know.
Yeah, that team to me has kind of, lost the vibe, and
they're going to lose Watson if they don't step it up. They're going to lose Watson.
Kind of a little bit of a mess, in my opinion.
That's crazy because I think they're going to shock everyone because
playing in a division with the Colts and the Titans.
Well, now you have brought it back to a backyard football quarterback got 3 backyard receivers.
Okay, did they get him any line this year? Now, does he finally have protection?
No, he's not. He has learned that they're not going to protect him. He has
He's
given
going to
it
get
up.
killed out there.
Well, no, he did it. He did
He's
it. in
done
college.
it, but
has.
Andrew Luck did it for a while too, and look at him.
Right, exactly. It only lasts for so long.
Well, now before he was trying to be a pocket passer and actually get it to Hopkins. He was really trying to force that. That was the connection, but they couldn't make that connection. Now they just got burners. Go deep. If it doesn't go deep, come back. I'll throw it to you then. So I'll go and look for you deep. Whoever shakes their receiver first and goes deep burns. If it doesn't work, I'll spin out and then come back and we'll go backyard.
Let's
That's
hope he
what
has that
Deshaun
much
Watson
time.
is good.
That's good. Let's see how they play backyard football against the
Because
Titans
that's
defense.
already like 1 option, 2 option, 3. That's already, how many seconds that you're looking out for that.
Now another thing too is, what sort of defense do they have to stop Derrick Henry as well and the Titans offense? I mean, they got to play those guys
They
twice.
got J.J. Watt. He's amazing, isn't he?
J.J. Watt's an amazing human being who's done a lot of great things for the community, but he's always hurt.
Except
He's
for his
always
team.
hurt.
You know what? Okay, I'm going to just go off topic just a little bit. There was one play that I'll never forget that happened with J.J. Watt. I think it was the Cincinnati Bengals the Texans were playing against. And it was the end of the game, one of those we're just going to lateral it and see if we can get a touchdown. So they lateral it to their center. Like the Bengals lateral it to their center, and he's like, what the hell do I do with this? So here comes J.J. Watt and picks this guy up and drops him into the ground. That was
Like a wrestler.
that was insane. So J.J. Watt's amazing, but I mean, anymore, the guy has injured his back multiple times in the position that he's playing.
It's not nice.
I think J.J. Watt should stick to playing tag and enjoy his future being a
Philanthropist.
yes.
Yeah, go on tour with your brother. Do that little show. And
Or prove us
save your
wrong.
body.
Or prove us wrong this year. Prove everybody wrong.
I think this should be his last year. His signature. Retirement. Go away. Not go away.
Farewell, riding to the
Farewell.
sunset.
Farewell season.
Sorry, English is my first language. All right, so next on the list, who I think you guys have way too high, but Leonard Fournette from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm going to go ahead and say I think he's way too high as well.
I think so too.
But I think that right now, I'm just talking about they're going to use him and use him and
Fantasy-wise.
use him and use him.
He's possibly
I
He's
just-
gonna
in
have
a
30
spot.
rushes for 9.5
There
yards.
you go. He's going to have 30 rushes for 9 yards, but
Right.
he's going to have 30
He'll
rushes.
he'll have the touches.
And poor Leonard Fournette, man.
He had so much talent.
Even
at one point,
you at LSU too. I mean, God, just and not only that,
kind of disappointed.
boneheaded moves by this Doug Marrone coach, man. You can't riverboat Ron in every freaking game. Okay. So anyway, poor Leonard Fournette.
He's in a bad spot.
But I love the Jacksonville Jaguars. I
I'm
love
about to say,
Minshew.
but I don't understand because you guys ranked Minshew so high.
No, not so high. Minshew was on the list. He made the list.
How is he on the list? Once they figured out how he played, man, they shut Minshew down.
I don't know, man.
I think his
gonna be
size
great.
and a little bit more practice will kind of help him.
You
I
mean
think-
like preseason or like
No,
OTAs?
no, I'm
Man,
saying
Minshew's
like,
probably wrestling tigers
No,
right now,
no,
like
he
in his
already had his
shorts. Like,
He's not playing football.
He
That's
already-
my
I don't know,
problem.
man. I
he ended
Gardner
the
Minshew,
season practicing.
he's awesome,
That was his practice.
okay. So anyway, Leonard
I
Fournette.
think the Jaguars are going to be trash this year.
You're
They
probably
can't
right.
score. They can't stop anyone anymore because they sold off all the defense.
I think the
Yeah,
one.
their little excitement from last year might.
Yeah, but
dwindle out.
I do have a feeling that there will be some excitement with the Jaguars this year, and that excitement's going to come in the air with the connection between DJ Chark and Gardner Minshew. It's going to be great, and I feel like there is fantasy value in that. Yes, there is, man.
I think
There's fantasy value in that. Like you need a wide receiver. You need a wide
Somebody
receiver.
has to be
DJ
there.
Chark, Gardner Minshew connection. You saw that last year. Come on, man. I'm not saying they're going to win a lot of games, but they got fantasy value. They do.
Value.
All right. We shall see. All right. This is a crazy toss-up kind of running back, but number 18 from the Baltimore Ravens, we have Mark Ingram.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mark Ingram is one of those, you get him upset and he will run and he will run and he will run. And I was a little bummed as a Saints fan to see him go because that double-headed attack they had with Kamara and Ingram was amazing. That was it was so much fun to watch. And he's still fun to watch in Baltimore.
Yeah,
absolutely. The chemistry that Mark Ingram has with his team is one of the reasons I love Mark Ingram so much.
He's a great leader.
He's a great
he
leader.
always has been amazing.
That's why he's
from
getting
college
playing time.
on. Yeah, he's been.
And I think maybe he's on like the downside of his career a little bit.
Maybe a
But
little
he's
bit.
playing with the Baltimore Ravens, and they run, and I think he belongs on this list. There's no doubt he belongs on this list.
They run so much, they went and got an all-star J.K. Dobbins.
Everybody's running.
The Mark Ingram, they're running away from Mark Ingram.
Well, you can't discount the idea that he's going to help. If he's a great leader, which we all know, like we just said, then I think he's really going to help develop young players. And I think that that's going to set up a system in Baltimore for, I don't know, many more years. Having leadership like that in Baltimore is going to make sure the Baltimore Ravens are going to be successful in the coming years.
I like Mark Ingram on the list because there's been no OTAs, there's been no preseason, there's been no camps, nothing. So they're not going to let any rookie or any backup take Mark Ingram's spot for the first 4 games. But if you don't have a J.K. Dobbins on your team as your 4th running back, you need to get him. I promise you, Dobbins is going to be the man after the bye week.
I don't know. I mean, we also... Gus Edwards is still there, too.
Gus Edwards is going to have a lovely seat watching Dobbins run all over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I don't think the Baltimore Ravens run game was ever broken. I don't think that... It was smart of them to bring in Dobbins. For sure, he's going to learn from a great running core, but I don't know if it's broken enough that you're like, man, we got to put Dobbins in.
So I said after the bye week.
We'll see.
Because he's going to need some time to learn the blocking schemes. And once he gets that down, it's going to be a toss-up. Mark Ingram always gets hurt. He always pulls, I mean, not like hurt, but every other game seems like, that's why I stopped drafting Ingram, is because the games that seems like he's going to kill it and they're going to really run, he tweaks something in like the second quarter and he just doesn't play the rest of the game. But he so his stats get they're terrible for that game, and then the next one you try to start him, but it sucks because that's how the backups in Baltimore always get like looks, and we know about Gus Edwards.
Well, even without the little tweaking of Mark Ingram's muscles or whatever here, there's ligaments or whatever here and there, I would definitely say that the Ravens also have one of those Patriot-like running attacks where you never know who's going to have a big game, and sometimes you never even know if like RG3 is going to come in because the Ravens are, destroying another team.
I said that, yeah, you do. You know it in the third quarter.
Well, yeah. Well, you don't know it when you're putting, anyway, when you're starting.
You know from the beginning.
So, but I definitely think Mark Ingram belongs on this list. So let's see what happens with Dobbins. But
and that's the other problem with Mark Ingram, besides the tweaks, is they've been benching him in the fourth quarter. Because they've been blasting teams by 30 points.
I don't think it's going to be the same this year. I think they're still going to dominate, but they're not going to be blasting teams by that many points.
Well, then you're going to let me get Lamar Jackson then?
Go ahead. You're going to let me get Kyler Murray then?
Well, no, come on, man. He's half black.
Hey, you can't have both. Okay.
You got to give me that on just...
So, next up on this list, somebody that I really believe, I don't know if I should even put him on the list. I don't. Anyway, Todd Gurley, Atlanta Falcons. The reason I say that he shouldn't be this high on the list or even on the list is I did a lot of research into this injury and what's going on with Todd Gurley. And I saw him at the end of the Rams, so the year that the Rams went to the Super Bowl. Late in that season, I started to notice a lot of problems with him. They would take him out of the game. He had a lot of knee injuries. He would be riding the bike all the time. Then you start to find out that he has arthritis in his knee. And then you start to see some of the pictures that are rumored to be his knee, and it just doesn't look good. And right now, though, the Atlanta Falcons don't really have any choice. So Todd Gurley is going to run. Todd Gurley's going to run,
For
and
as
Todd
long as
Gurley's
he
going to
can,
run.
until he can't anymore.
They're good. They're going to put him to work, and he's a hometown boy, man. He's going to run. Like,
Yep, he will definitely be.
but do I think that Todd Gurley has much longer after this, especially after this year? I don't think so, and I'd like for him to prove me wrong, but I don't think so.
I think his peak is done.
Yeah, I mean, if this is supposed to be a fantasy football advice, my advice would be to not get him at all.
Yeah.
My advice would be
Yeah.
to fool everybody and talk while you're doing the draft. Like if it's an auction, I would bid him for everybody else to go get him early.
Yep.
So somebody can use that running back spot on a joke from me. I'd put him in for the auction and then not bid on him. Laugh at everybody who's bidding. Because if we're getting them advice and tell people, all right, these are the best people to get, some of the advice should be like, stay away from this running back.
Right.
Because Todd Gurley is going to have some problems. I've had reconstructive knee surgery, and it sucks. It just lingers. It doesn't sit right. I don't care what kind of rehab or trainers you have. And why waste that pick on a shaky wide receiver? I mean, shaky running back when you can go get a great wide receiver at that pick.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Absolutely.
I also want to go ahead and point out that when it comes to running backs in the NFC South, with the exception of this genetic freak named Christian McCaffrey, nobody else in the NFC South, okay, let's just put it this way. The Saints haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher almost at all over the past couple of years. It's very difficult to run in the NFC South. It really, really is. And then if you throw somebody like let's look at the Falcons last year. Devontae Freeman. Terrible season for the running backs in Atlanta. Terrible. Yes, it has a lot to do with the line. It has a lot to do with the problems in Atlanta to begin with, but I don't see Todd Gurley coming in here and being this savior for the running back position in Atlanta. I don't. But do I think he's going to have the potential for a couple of amazing games? Absolutely. And if you're in a really, really dire situation, make sure you pay attention to the matchup, of course, but I don't know how much trust I have in Todd Gurley. We'll see what happens there.
I would have more trust in J.K. Dobbins and hope that I would bench J.K. Dobbins. I mean, hold him on my bench and be happy with it. Okay, if you get Gurley and he's your fourth running back, you stack up running backs in the beginning and Gurley falls to the 7th round, 8th round. All right, okay, I could justify that. If you were like an Atlanta fan and you really want Gurley or something like that, all right, I get that. But do not let him be in your top 3. Do not go wide receiver heavy and think that Gurley is going to be your number 1 running back because he killed it 7 years ago.
Well, another thing that I would say too is and we'll talk more about different types of strategy in fantasy football. It doesn't, like even what Dal was talking about, throwing bait in the draft and stuff like that. That kind of stuff's smart to
people,
do.
Yeah.
If it was a snake draft, I'd be hyping Gurley. I'd wear a Gurley jersey to the draft and be hyping
He'll buy
Gurley.
an Atlanta Gurley jersey just
He could
to...
easily sell his
do
name.
it and laugh when I pull it off and have Mostert.
So
Go get why wouldn't you get Mostert than Gurley? There's so many other options that are going to probably be around. I mean, I don't think Mostert's going to be there, but I believe that a lot of drafts Mostert's going to slip, or I would even get Phillip Lindsay there because I think he's going to slip, and he's been 2,000-yard seasons. They're not just going to put him away. No.
But okay, so if we're going to talk about that really quick, I will also say Drew Lock's going to turn into a much better quarterback, and he's already a decent quarterback, and I do have a feeling that even though the running back position there in Denver has been leaned on for the past few years, I think they're going to really have a good air attack in the coming years. So
and Phillip Lindsay's going to be the one catching
I
those
agree,
balls.
yeah, I agree.
So I would go with somebody who's going on the up and has a chance to have a ridiculous ceiling than somebody who you're worried
Going
about
down.
their bottom. And, oh, God, is he going to even be playing in Week 14
Exactly.
with Atlanta's tough schedule?
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't even think they're going to be running the ball. They're going to be throwing the ball.
yeah, they have Ridley, they have Jones.
They have Drew Brees.
Okay, so the next one on my list is actually another situation that a lot of people probably will doubt this guy, but I really think he's due for, he's going to have a great season. James Conner of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hit the button.
No,
I think he's going to have a good season.
Really?
I really do. And I don't know what's going to become of Big Ben. I really don't. I mean,
So how does a running back have a great season without a quarterback doing very well?
You just need him to hand it off.
honestly, last year,
Don't hand it off when you're losing.
last year there were many, and last year the Steelers didn't have that great of a year.
And
But-
neither did James Conner. Because
But
they
no.
were-
Let's not say that. I had him on my team, and yes, there were. I'll just put it this way: I, for some reason, just lucked out that I started him for every good game that he had, and it was. I'll just say this: it was about 50-50. He had great games and he had not so great games. But did he ever have like a really, really, really god awful game? I don't really remember him having a really, really god awful game.
Oh, because Berger wasn't playing yet.
Mason Rudolph.
Wait till you
With
get
his-
full down below. You look like the little used car sign.
So wait a minute, wait a
He
minute.
might not even be the quarterback the whole season.
Well, that's another. Okay, so James Conner had a great season with Ben Roethlisberger 2 years ago. Last year, James Conner had an okay season with a revolving door of quarterbacks.
Who were the wide receivers in this great year that you were talking about?
Three-headed monsters.
I'll wait for
Okay.
it. Go ahead and wait for it.
I'm talking about James Conner and how many carries he's getting.
Are you talking about Antonio Brown and how much it opened up those carries? Because they were leading and they could run the ball?
James Conner's going to have a good year, and you're going to eat your words.
Smith Musters.
I'm not a Steelers fan. I'm not a Steelers fan, but I am a James Conner fan, and I believe that if you're
Juice Mooster.
not your top two running backs, but I would take James Conner as my third running back. I would definitely take James Conner as my third running back.
What you think, Maria? You gonna pick him up again this year? And Jalen Samuel
Depending
as a
on who
backup?
else is on the table, it depends. But he would definitely be in the mix.
They have the third running back on their team.
A really good blocking tight end, don't they? Remember the one you were talking about earlier? McDonald there? Fucking just...
McDonald's a smash, but they have a third running back on their team. I can't think. I picked
know who
him
you're-
up for one game and he got hurt. He hurt his knee. But okay, James Conner and Jalen
Samuels,
Samuel
yeah.
are both little guys. But this third running back, he's a rookie, but they picked him up as a goal line. He's like 250 pounds, he's like a 4'6'5", and he's like 6'3", he's 6'4".
Hmm?
God, what's his name?
I know who you're talking about, but this is what I will say. It'll be James Conner and that guy, and Jalen Samuels will be on the bench.
If this guy's knee is all right, he's a bruiser.
Yeah, he's a bruiser. He's a
He
bruiser.
is Steeler material, and I think.
But James Conner can also catch, and James Conner can also catch deep, and James Conner can do more than just what a normal running back can do. I think James Conner is exceptional. He hasn't been able to show us that. It's been unfortunate what's happened the past couple of years with injuries, and then what's going on with the Steelers, but I think this will be the year that he really proves that he's a great running back. Not an elite running back, but a great running back.
Benny Snell Jr.
Ah.
Watch out for Benny Snell Jr. I just these guys believe in James Conner. I'll be waiting and see because I don't believe in the Steelers this year.
I don't believe in the
at all,
Steelers.
No.
because I don't think Ben Roethlisberger is going to be the same. If Cam Newton was the same and he has shoulder surgery, well, elbow's even harder to come back from. That ends pitchers' careers.
Exactly.
You're right.
I was about to say baseball. Just
There's a lot of
from
things that should have ended Ben Roethlisberger's career years ago as well, and I think that maybe this will be the final blow. But he's always found a way.
But it was lower body.
You're right.
But this is Pittsburgh cold and an elbow, right elbow.
Not a very good
And
situation.
he hasn't. Everybody's putting out all these videos of them throwing the ball, but you got he's throwing bananas and
and it's summertime.
like, what is he gonna do in the winter? To shoo Miss Juicer, Mooster. What happened to that MVP?
Oh, well, you know what's going to happen in the winter? James Conner is going to happen in the winter.
Well, I know what's not gonna happen in the winter. Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I think he's going to be watching football at home. No, actually, I think somebody's going to sign him this year. I really do think someone's going to sign him this year. Antonio Brown?
Did anything ever come about him playing with Russell?
Well, there was a video of
whatnot?
Russell Wilson and Antonio Brown working out together, and there's also a lot of talk about him going to Tampa Bay.
I think he's going to the Ravens with his cousin.
We'll see what happens there, but
It's
You know, if Antonio Brown gets signed by a team, I would draft Antonio Brown, and we'll get to that in a later video.
You got Hollywood on one side and Hollywood on the other side.
So, next up on our list, we have...
I think this is the sleeper. Miles Sanders from Philadelphia. I think he's sitting right at 15, but man, didn't you have him last year?
I did. I had him on one of my teams.
I had him on one of my teams, too. He was exceptional, and I think... Philadelphia just had so many problems last year with receivers to begin with that Miles Sanders, I feel like, really, really helped them out in some really sticky situations. So, but this year, that could change a little bit. You know, they have Deshaun Jackson healthy again, right?
Which is going to open up the middle.
Mm-hmm. So, we'll see what happens. He does belong on this list, and I do agree that he should be a little higher. I definitely do agree he should be a little higher. And who else plays with him there in Philadelphia?
Ertz and Goddard.
No. The other running back there.
Boston Scott is going to be the next guy who is a little cannonball of energy who will definitely cut into Miles Sanders' time, I believe. He's very good, and the system is... Dan Peterson is a great quarterback coach. He used to play as a quarterback in the league, and he was a good quarterback then too. He's very smart. He's what got Frank Wright to get a head coaching job because he's just an awesome quarterback mind, which allowed a backup Nick Foles to be an MVP.
Yeah,
of the Super
Doug
Bowl.
Peterson was definitely the
Dan
relationship.
Peterson? I mean,
Yeah,
Doug
Doug
Peterson.
But the relationship that Doug even has with his team, I don't know if you've seen these videos that came out a few years ago, but he rewards his team with ice cream, right?
They love him.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
lactose.
They will do
I hate
anything
that.
for him. Which
Yeah,
is,
but I do want to, there's a big...
we'll give you a vegan.
You have any sorbet?
Sorbet's good. So, okay, there's an elephant in the room when it comes to Philadelphia, and it's what the hell is happening in Philadelphia? And that, Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts got drafted now, and do they not have faith in Carson Wentz anymore? I mean, Jalen Hurts isn't just a quarterback, and I mean, like, it's a steal to be getting him as early as they did for the fact that he was in the running for the Heisman, right? So I think there's something going on there. I don't see that they would pick up a quarterback of that caliber if they weren't, I don't know, maybe considering moving Wentz at a certain point if there's not more success.
Everybody's negotiable.
Yeah,
Of course.
absolutely.
Of course. But I will say this. I like Carson Wentz a lot. I think that he has gotten a lot of negative... he's just getting a lot of slack. Honestly, at the end of the day, as great as Dak Prescott has been, I still think that Carson Wentz has a way higher ceiling than this guy. Carson Wentz is an amazing quarterback, and it was just so unfortunate what happened to him that year that they went 14-2, and then he tears his ACL, and then he still stays on the field. But right now, I feel like he's just getting a lot of negativity thrown his way, and if the Eagles do part ways with him, I think they're going to regret it.
You going to get Miles Sanders this year?
He's not top of my list, no.
But I would.
Too excited about it.
If I saw him, when I'm picking my third running back and he's available, right away.
I would say in that scenario,
And
but not right off the bat.
If I screw myself somehow and I'm like, oh man, I only have a running back and like all the other, all these guys are gone, of course I would take Sanders.
Well, we got him as our 15th running back, so...
Well, he's going to help Wentz. I think he's definitely going to help him out in the long run. So he's going to have
two
work.
running back, you would... Basically, that would be like, in your first 5 picks, you would have 3 running backs. Would you do that? You already have 2 great running backs in your first 5
No, I'd
picks.
probably go with wide receiver.
Wide receiver, right?
Yep. After two solid running backs.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd have to agree because right now there's maybe 7 running backs that I like. I just have so much faith in them. There's 7 running backs that I have so much faith in, and if I got the opportunity to take all 3, I would. Early. If I got the opportunity to take 3 of the running backs that I truly, truly, truly believe in, I would. Of course, I would pay attention to schedule, of course. But yeah, I would.
Schedule and bye weeks.
Schedule and bye weeks. Yeah.
Now, I would sit here to end on this, on a footnote. I would say you need to have all 4 of your running backs before the 9th round. And we'll end with that on this episode, and I'll explain what I'm talking about later. But Miles Sanders. Well, let's go right back through this list. So starting at number 25, we have Le'Veon Bell, then DeAndre Swift. 23 at Jonathan Taylor. 22, Sony Mitchell. 21, Devin Singletary from Buffalo. Number 20, I was about to say Duke Johnson. Don't get Duke Johnson. Don't be Duke into getting Duke Johnson. David Johnson from Houston Texans. Leonard Fournette, 19 from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Number 18, Mark Ingram of the Ravens. 17, Todd Gurley from Atlanta. 16, James Conner from Pittsburgh. And Miles Sanders rounds up our 25 through 15 from the Philadelphia Eagles. Thank you for joining us. I'm Saxophone Delmon with my friends
Maria?
Michael Rascon.
Yo, you guys, good luck in your drafts. We have many more videos to come, and good luck. See you next video.
Start studying.
Later, y'all. Cheers.
Cheers.
James Conner's going to have a great year.
It's last call.
Fantasy football.